This is conscious of crazy. I have a lot to talk about, a lot of subjects. Let's go and get to it. Jordan Edwards, once again, another black young soul lost too soon. 15. Also, in Dallas, there was a 18-year-old shot in a drive-by, which is sad. And this constant violence got to stop. And constant trend of police shooting us have to stop. And most people don't know that police come from slavery. They was pretty much the slave keepers. They used to protect the slave master's property, and we were their property. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. And if you're trying to be a cop, you should not be afraid of your community. I'm tired of seeing cops shooting us. I'm tired of seeing this. If you're afraid of your community, then you shouldn't serve. You shouldn't protect and serve your community. As we've seen in Cleveland, just to find out that officer, his application was very fishy, and they just now found that out 3 years after the fact that he gunned down the young kid he gunned down. It's a shame, He was 12 years old. It's got to stop. My next subject, this subject Donald Trump wouldn't care about. Let me get on Donald Trump. Donald Trump recently, if you noticed or not, he recently fired his FBI director because he was getting close, and he was finding information out on Russia involvement in our election. So he's fired now, and it's a little fishy. I think people should notice, should see and notice these moves that our president is doing, and notice the games that's been being played. And also, we had a $4 trillion budget Donald Trump set, and this will cut healthcare, Medicaid, and will affect 10 million plus people, and it's going to affect programs such as food stamps, other programs that will benefit citizens. And just by this action and the last action, I think we should really see what the president we elected, and Congressman Al Green. Appreciate Congressman Al Green. He's trying to promote and trying to push the envelope to get President Trump impeached, and this needs to happen. And I hate the backlash he's getting for it. He's getting lynching threats, and it's a shame. And these secret meetings that's been going on. Steve Harvey, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s son, just all these fishy meetings. And with Steve Harvey, people don't know that Donald Trump, he owns the pageant that Steve Harvey hosts, and pretty much so Steve Harvey's boss is Donald Trump. And I feel like the meeting, hopefully it had more context to it. Hopefully, I don't know what the meeting was about. Obviously, the public doesn't either. So much secrecy, people don't know, and I understand. And I feel like with Steve Harvey, we should meet up with Ben Carson, that's in head of the Housing for Urban Development, and I think we need to push and press Donald Trump as well as Ben Carson. Get more involved and push these presidents. Because people don't know that benign neglect effect has been in effect for a while, and that's promises that's not given to the people of African descent. People don't know that, and my next subject, I wanted to talk about culture vulturing and the media. I wanted to talk about Miley Cyrus as well as Katy Perry. I like how these artists jump on the bandwagon of hip hop just to get a quick buck, and get their money and leave, twerk and leave. Use Juicy J and artists like the Migos and Mike Will Made It, get their money and leave pretty much, and just just like JT as we seen at the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? He left. He left the situation. He just went and left, and because they can, and but culture vulture has been going on for years. I mean, talking about including the music, rock and roll, blues, rhythm and blues, to these Jewish execs that run most record labels and you know media period TV. But yeah, like executives like Whitney Houston's executive that pretty much used her up till she was dry and couldn't produce any more income for him. That's what they do to most of these artists. You know, and they've just been stealing and loving the culture for years. It's a lot of hidden history, hidden facts that people don't know about, such as like the Statue of Liberty. The original Statue of Liberty was a black slave breaking free. It was a black slave, and in New York you see a Europeanized version of it, as you see a trend of that, and you see a trend of that, with all these sculptures and structures of African American statues across several countries, and even Buddha. Buddha has a swastika on it. Now, swastika comes from North Africa, and that represents peace and love and just positivity. It's a positive sign, but by Germany, it's usually represents negativity and hate. It's funny how history can get twisted as well as these holidays people don't know about. The origins is where the truth lies. The origin is where the truth lies, and people don't know that. You know. My next subject I want to skip to. I wanted to talk about the Flint issue that's been going on. It's not only in Flint; it's also in New Jersey. The water was affected in a school in New Jersey, and also in California. There's areas. Just across the country, there's areas with affected water. But in Flint, they're making people pay for their water bill. And that's ridiculous. And if they don't pay, they have to foreclose their homes. And this is ridiculous. No one's talking about it. It's swept under the rug. With a lot of topics, such as Antarctica. I found in Antarctica they have a restriction. They have treaties of a restriction of areas not to go to. You can't go to, as well as Area 51. And recently, on Independence Day, I noticed they mentioned Area 51, which is very fishy to me. And it's crazy what you find when you watch something another time and you keep paying attention and you notice things the second go round, And once you notice things the second go around, And recently, I've been watching a show called United Shades of America. They have episodes about Muslims and also Native Americans. And Native Americans, one of the most disrespected people, ethnic group, along with African Americans. This show exposes and shows through time that America broke treaties, pretty much land promises, property, broke 370 treaties with the Native Americans, and throughout time just kept breaking the treaties. And now they have reserved areas now in North Dakota as well as other places. And I wanted to pay respect to Robert Oates. He's a Native American activist. I respected his movement, and as we see as a trend, he was assassinated. I guess the government really they don't like they don't like activists. He was also assassinated with a long list of activists, as we've seen through history. And talk about Native Americans. I wanted to talk about Mexicans. It's funny that I forgot to mention that Trump wants to build a wall, you know what I'm saying, $1.6 billion wall to block out Mexico. The funny thing is, in around 1848, Mexicans, they owned most of this land from Texas to California. They owned a large chunk of this land, and it's funny that we want to block them out now. It's kind of hypocritical, kind of like Kathy Griffin and what they did to Obama when he ran. You just look that up. And also, I did more research, and I found that the MOVE organization, I heard about this organization, and they pretty much was inspiring people to move and unify, and was a peaceful group. But sadly, it was ended, and this group started around the 80s in Philadelphia, and sadly, this group was bombed, and the movement was ended, sadly, as a trend we keep seeing. It's ridiculous, It's ridiculous, these trends we keep seeing. These trends we keep seeing, throughout history, and also a trend that we all know and have seen. I wanted to talk about these cases I've recently seen lately. I seen a case on a 20-year-old man drugs and rapes his sister, and his punishment is embarrassment. And also another case where a Cincinnati man shoots a canine dog, and he gets 19 years. Now, in those cases there, you got to notice injustice in one of those cases. And I just want justice to be served all the time and most of the time, It's ridiculous that we see these cases are imbalanced of justice being served. And there was the other case, Betty Shelby, pretty recent, she shot and killed the unarmed African American in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and once again gets off. It's like we don't matter. It's a shame. You could just shoot someone and get away with it, but there's cases out there worse than that. Even that. A young man on his way to his wedding got pulled over and was shot and killed. This is a case that no one talks about. There's a lot of cases out here like that of injustice, such as it's another case where a rich privileged young man recklessly drives one night, and his plea in court was that he was not responsible. His parents didn't preach him responsibility, and due to that, he got off. You could look up the symptom. It's a true case. It's several. I think there's other cases as well as that. It's ridiculous. Get off. It's sad, and to see these trends of injustice, and it's not a coincidence. As well as these bombings. Switch subjects real quick. As well as these bombings. This recent bombing that killed 200 people and injured several. As well as England, killed 22 people and injured several others, and also in Times Square. These attacks keep happening for a reason. It's calculated. It's not coincidence. These events keep happening. It's ridiculous. This got to stop. We need a balance in the justice system. The system never was fixed, and it never was It was never fair in the beginning, and now we must create balance in the system and fix the system. Way overdue for this. It's way overdue. I mean, something must change, and the people, we must unify to change it. You know, and a quote from Desmond Tutu describes it best. If you're neutral on situations of injustice, you have chose the side of the oppressor. And we see neutral people, and we need to unify and understand that we all are equal human beings. No one's better than no one else. We're all equal, and we should be one. As peace and love will solve all these. We'll solve all this. We need to unify together, and yeah. And also, in the words of James Baldwin, nothing that is faced cannot be changed, can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced. And that is so true. And I wanted to talk about the documentary that he had recently, I'm Not Your Negro. A very powerful documentary. Yeah, this documentary describes how his feelings on Malcolm X as well as Martin Luther King and fellow activists that were also assassinated. He tells his viewpoints on them and his feelings on what's going on and what was going on during that time and what's sadly still going on. This documentary still relates to us, sadly. It still relates to us, and that means nothing has changed. It's been a slight change, but it's still the same game that's been playing. It's still being played. And there was another famous quote from him: "To be a Negro in this country and to be relatively conscious is to be enraged almost all of the time." And this is very true. I definitely understand this quote and feel this way. And and the job of the job of the conscious is to make the unconscious conscious and aware. Stokely Carmichael. People need to realize these things, and what his movement was bigger than him. And sadly, people are still sleeping now. We must wake up and pay attention to what's really going on. My next subject is on the media, and as I mentioned, the powers that be controls the media. The 1%, and they influence the politics. The lies in the media being spread. And influence the negative influence of Hollywood. The negative influence of Hollywood, and very secretive place. Is not. And a quote, a lyric describes it the best to me. God gives us talent and the devil makes us famous. It's a Wale song. It quotes that. That is very true. Hollywood has always been a secretive place and a secretive society. Also a dark and evil society as it is. I think it represents most of the secrets and, most of the hidden facts in our society. And so I'm talking about Hollywood. I want to talk about the industry, actors, and I want to talk about the MTV Awards recently. I noticed how at the Oscars, Moonlight won, and I understand the importance of that film. The film was very important. And then also at the MTV Awards, they won the Best Kiss. They also won, the actors of Moonlight won the Best Kiss Awards, and it's very fishy. I mean, I've seen the trend of them kind to, it's kind of a feminization of, the African American male that's been going on for a while. These new fashions, it's been going on for a while, and you see this trend. It's kind of, you see this trend. It's like, yeah, it's a trend that's been going on for a while, since slavery. It's been a mentality since slavery, And I wanted to talk about, the downfalls of people of the industry. I wanted to get on sports. I wanted to talk about how the Cosby effect has even affected Tiger Woods recently. He had recently a DUI pull over in Florida. He was arrested, but recently I seen a dash cam report and showing dash cam video showing his him under the influence, and they said reportedly he was on medication and he was not drunk at all. And it's funny how they could dash cam that instance, but never dash body cam or have cameras while they shoot innocent black men. It's kind of funny how that happens. Yeah, it's funny to me. It's ridiculous. Tiger Woods, he wasn't drunk, but he was driving with a suspended license. And things like this, they like doing this. It's a trend you see, as well as so many other trends. With Cosby, the downfall, they always put a quota on, black actors or black athletes. With Michael Vick, Michael Jordan, to Nate Parker. They always put a quota on us, and it's ridiculous to see this trend continue. It's a ridiculous trend that keeps going. But that's how the media works. It makes you think away. You know what I'm saying? It forces you to think away before you even question it. And we need to question these things. We need to open our eyes and see the light. The truth comes to light, and the truth is definitely being exposed. But as well, I wanted to say rest in peace also to Richard Collins III. Was also not shot down, but he was stabbed and assaulted on a Maryland University campus. And prayers go out to his family, and it's a sad trend that keeps occurring. It's ridiculous. This trend must end and stop. We must provide balance, and without balance, or growth or change, as well as the body, the system can die as well. But yes, we must stay woke. We must be reading. Reading is fundamental. It's fundamental. It's good for mental health. We must meditate in these times. We must unify and work together. To cause change. We must do this. It's about time, if any time. This is a must. Thank you for listening to Conscious or Crazy. Hope you question it if I am conscious or if I am crazy. Question things. That's great. If you're questioning things that I said, I've done my job. I'll spark you to research. And also you can contact me, consciouscrazy at gmail.com, as well as consciouskid21 on Instagram. Thank you. Stay woke. Let's wake up. One race. There's one God. Peace and unity. Put no man before God. Thank you and bless you. Peace and love. Thank you. Bye.